Hello, welcome to this special Women's Day interview series for News9. My name is Anurag Taggett, and I'll be speaking to Ranjani Ramadoss today about her artistry and her journey so far, as well as everything that she's got coming up through the year. Uh, hey, Ranjani, thanks for joining me, and thanks for taking the time out to do this.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I look forward to this.
Yeah, one of the first things I wanted to ask you about was like how, in fact, yesterday you played a set with Loyal, right? Like you were on stage and you
Yeah,
were doing your own set as well. And the last time I'd seen you was when you were doing backing vocals with 7 1/4 at, the Crash College gig. So I just wanted
yeah.
to, get your thoughts on just what it's like moving in and out of so many different worlds. Uh, you know,
Mm.
Getting to be a part of something, getting to have something that people want from you at the same time, as well as you, getting something back from those kind of experiences.
Nice. That's a nice question. I really enjoy being able to work in different capacities in different music acts. Like I feel like that way I get to learn how to be in the shoes of a lot of different yeah, maybe characters on stage, just like how to support somebody else and like or like how to really take charge and lead an act and stuff like that. So yeah, I really enjoy being able to do that. I feel like I get to learn a lot of different things by doing that.
Yeah, and so specifically, I guess I would say, like, what would you say you would learn from being part of, like, having this association with someone like Loyal or even like Clipper and Tintin, which, you guys made 593 EP together. And, I know that you were part of Loyal's like sets even before, like, the album came out and stuff like that. So yeah, like I wanted to understand like what your like association like that is, and yeah, like just like how it's grown over these last few years.
Right. You know, when I first saw Loyal perform, I really enjoyed it so much. I was like, okay, I've never heard a male vocalist like this in this country. It was like really exciting. And I was playing right after him at a sofa where I first heard him. And I was really nervous. And right after I started, I had no idea if people would like these songs. And those songs were also like very different. I feel like I've acquired a lot more ability on like how to write songs since then. But like I think just 5 seconds in, he was like, "Yes, Lord," and like it gave me so much like encouragement. I was like, "Oh God, okay, this person who I was like so like dumbfounded by actually like wants to support this." And from then on, it's been like whatever in whatever way I can work with him, I just really enjoy doing it so much. I think like he's so talented and so wonderful to work with, and like such a great human. We also lived together for a while, where that was actually the start of everything. Where he asked me to, he sent me a beat and he was like, "I want you to write your own rap. I feel like you can do it." And nobody else had ever, like I was in a couple of bands and nobody had asked me to rap. I didn't think I was capable of rapping. I was just a singer and a songwriter, that's it. But yeah, ever since that happened in the lockdown, I've realized that okay, I actually enjoy doing this so much that like I feel excited to wake up and just write write my stuff in this way. So I kind of like owe everything to him. Yeah.
Wow, that's a really current story. And I think the other thing, like I noticed was that like actually the first time I saw you was with Kelmi Kori, where like you were playing saxophone and you were singing, and like I later learned that yeah, like you're a multi instrumentalist in that sense, and you're also an educator. Like you teach. So I just wanted to know like where does that come from for you to like say like have vocals as one part of you, then also have saxophone, and then also be an educator. Like where do those things sort of come from for you?
Right. So the sax was just, something really lucky that happened to me in college, where I found out that there's a program where I can learn without, having any prior knowledge or even having the instrument. Like they would give me the instrument and they'd teach me how to play it. I was like, that's amazing. And as that happened, I just really enjoy jamming out with it. I'm still learning and like just having fun with the instrument. And yeah, and teaching is something that I really really enjoy, because I feel like I owe so much to the people who have taught me how to sing. for actually just giving me a purpose. I feel like that was like such a amazing thing, and like I really take it seriously to be able to do that for other kids, just being that thing that takes up their time that might just turn into like a huge passion. So yeah.
Nice. And because you're also like singing in sort of different styles, like like you have. I remember the first song was Ni Mattume, and so like that was obviously Tamil, and there are Carnatic flourishes that happen in your music. But at the same time, yeah, if somebody hears like 593, like they wouldn't think it's the same like sort of vocalism. It's certainly not the same style. So yeah, like I mean, what sort of like informs some of those just your approaches to some of those things? Um, just one second. Sorry, like I
Right.
think your finger is covering a little part of the frame of the camera, I
Oh,
think.
I'm so
Ah,
sorry. I didn't.
no, no, it's
uh,
fine. Yeah, no, it's fine.
Was
So
it not?
no. It was just now, so that's why I pointed it out. No problem. Uh, so yeah, you can take like 2 seconds and then you can just respond to the question. No problem.
Okay. Okay. So I think it really comes from just the influences that I've had growing up. Like my parents are huge fans of Carnatic music, obviously, and they also really loved Tamil film music like Ilayaraja, A.R. Rahman, and I was born right around that time. There was like a A.R. Rahman fever, and like I was born like right into that, and I bought into that big time. Like as in my biggest inspiration for music was A.R. Rahman. I was like, but I wanted to be him, not just somebody who sings for him, but I wanted to, be able to like, write my own song and like create just like this small, like little like world of like sounds, which has a very specific emotion and a very specific feeling, not for somebody else or yeah, something like that. So and I learned Carnatic for a very long time, just being a South Indian girl, you just do. So yeah, and I really enjoyed it. But then I think I started I studied in an English medium school, and I started watching like a lot of whatever Disney musicals and stuff like that, and I really enjoyed that as well. I thought that was also a great storytelling. So I guess it's just like a melting pot of like all of this that just comes out whenever I make music. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, totally. I want to specifically ask you about some of the projects that you've been part of, like one of them being mutual, because I feel like to me at least it felt like you did 593, which was a DIY project that you guys did at home while you guys were all like COVID lockdown everything, and then there was something like mutual, which was like a label backed project. So
Right.
but I guess maybe I see it that way. Maybe the outside world sees
Yeah.
it that way, but I thought I'd hear from you about like like what was different about like going to that level where say like there was like a full high production music video, or there was a label backing you. Like what was that sort of like switch like?
It was really interesting. First, of course, we were like extremely excited. That we would get to do a music video for this song. It was just like a like a learning thing for us. We had never done such a big music video before. We knew that we always wanted to do visuals, but we're still figuring out like how it's gonna look, how to work with people, how to like make these visual ideas that you have in your head actually translate onto camera, and then how would that look, and how much like yeah money are we gonna put, like you said, the DIY thing. It was like we of course like did it as cheap as possible, try to pull in as many favors as possible, but now that we have this resource, now what are we gonna do with that? So yeah, it was really like nice way to learn. That's like mainly how I saw that. And it was of course great to like um see people have faith in your music. That's also like such a nice thing. Yeah, like I do believe that being independent is really awesome, but I think it's a great way to sort of like up the production quality of what we were doing. So yeah.
Oh, amazing. Right. And uh, coming up, like, can you tell me a bit about like, how it's perhaps like maybe changed some of the ways you look at, like now that you've like released something of the quality of mutual, like something at that level, like, does it sort of like push you to be like, okay, yeah, like I gotta be at that level or like even go higher than that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like even with live shows now, I try to do a lot more. Now that I've made these like connections, I've met people who are like so talented, who want to collaborate, who want to like make something of like a higher quality, and now I tell them that, like, okay, let's see, I have this exciting idea, would you be down to like try it out? Because I guess, for a lot of us, it's like the first time that this is being done, or we are trying this. At least, we've seen it, we've seen a version of it somewhere and been so inspired. Now we're like, we want to give this to the audience, we want to make them feel something. Like, for example, yesterday's show, I had my makeup artist friend who did my makeup for the mutual photo shoot, which it came out like really, really surprisingly well. And I asked her, like, would you be down to like do my makeup for the show? Because I wanted to do something really dramatic. And yeah, it was just like really fun. I guess like that way it really pushes us to like the next time we're like, okay, we need to do like crazier. Like, if we're gonna play a festival, now we're gonna like blow people's minds. So yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's incredible for sure. Um, and like it was really cool to hear you talk about this in like such a like well, obviously positive way, but like I guess I wanted to put it in the perspective of the fact that the last 2 years, like have obviously been challenging for so many musicians, and I'm sure like it wasn't without challenges for you either. But at the same time, like we've really seen you thrive in that way, right? Like so, like I wanted to hear about uh, what you felt like navigating, like the last 2 years. Like, did you at one point feel like, man, this is like so unfair because we're not getting same opportunities musicians did for like all this time just because like the pandemic has shut down venues, or there's just like fewer options to do things? Like, what was it like?
Um, yeah, I think actually the biggest struggle over the pandemic for us has just been having to make maybe quick decisions about who we are or what we want to do. Like, for me, I just speaking only for myself, I'm always very scared of like deciding that, like, okay, this is gonna be my thing now. So that's been like the one thing that, like, because now you're making a lot of bigger scale decisions based on that, so it becomes harder for me to like just sort of like nail myself down to something. So yeah.
Right. And in the wider like sort of artist community and just like people that you've been speaking to, like what kind of support do you feel you've gotten in that sense? Or just like, encouragement, just encouraging signs that you've seen that, oh, like which makes you feel like, oh, so what if there's a pandemic going on? We've still done so much, we're still doing so much. Like I feel like the fact that you guys, for example, went to play in Goa, like I think that was something that came across me as, yeah, like musicians are adapting, like, they're going where the gigs are. And there's, that's definitely an encouraging sign.
Sure. Like, so we went to Goa 2 times. Once during the pandemic, I went with my bands, but not as like not really as a solo act, even though Clifford and I, we did debut like our material, which was like half done, half written. We just like, tried it out there. It was like really fun. We've come a long way since then. And even like recently we went on December for Martin's birthday gig. He just wanted to curate one, and for me that was like really beautiful because like he's our friend. Clifford's first single was also with Martin, so he's like it's like a family kind of thing, and it was like so nice to just support each other. It's not about like really the money, but just having like such a great night together, and like yeah, the like really music bringing us together. That was really nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
completely.
comes, but I really think that everyone has been like so extremely kind. Like they want to like show our music to people, they want to talk about us, which is like so it's been like amazing. Yeah.
Right. And one of the other things I wanted to ask you about was how, I mean, obviously, since this is a Women's Day special interview, I do want to ask about it in a as less cliche way as possible. But um, like, I feel like at least hip hop, for example, like the fact that you rap, and of course, it's a very genre fluid world that you inhabit. But I know that rap and hip hop is one of the spaces that you get into. Yeah, like what do you feel like is changing about like that sort of space, especially for women in India, like rap and hip hop?
Right. I think that one important thing that we always need as artists, as creatives, is like sort of like role models. Just somebody who who you see, who looks like you, who's kind of like, who comes from where you come from, who like you know has sort of like overcome maybe similar things, and to see them really click something in your brain that, like, okay, this thing that I was always too scared to do about, with my life, somebody has done something similar, so I think I can like at least test the waters, if not like go full out, at least I can try. So I think that's always been so important, and I think that's increasing more and more, because people you get to see, yeah, just women are like killing it, and you get to see that, and then you're like, okay, this is amazing. And when other people see that, they also want to give more voice to that movement, because you can see that, like, what to say, a lot of like talent and creativity comes from like pain. Like, I feel like wherever there has been like a culture of like a bit of oppression, or like a lack of role models kind of thing, the creativity that comes out of there is like something a bit special, something like different, and it has even more like bite and like even more urgency to it. So yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I guess one of the last things I wanted to know about was what is sort of coming up for you through 2022. Like what are you working on, and what's sort of coming up gig-wise, as well as maybe tours or just releases.
Right. So I have a single coming out very soon, March 4th, with Clifford. And there's a lot of music in the works with Clifford. We live together, so we just like, and we work so well together. That's like the more important thing. And so it's like, really, it's been awesome, creating music with like my best friend. And there's a lot of that. And there's a lot of like really great collaborations with like producers, with other vocalists, with um, a lot of stuff with Martin, of course. Like we've been making stuff for a while as well. And apart from that, I'm trying to work on my own, like producing for myself, sort of, and like songwriting by myself as well. But I'm taking like a lot of time on that, and like really trying to, do it like as the best of the best that I can sort of imagine. That's happening. And with live shows, we are really like trying to push something like new. We have like a killer band, absolutely killer band, that I'm playing a lot of shows with this year, and we're trying to like make the visual experience like a lot better as well. So I hope that there's a lot of exciting content slash live shows that's gonna people are gonna get to see. Yeah.
Right. And I'm guessing, Calvicuri and those kind of things, like that's still something that sort of continues. Like,
Yeah, I'm working recording music with my band Paul and the Associates. We're working with like a great producer, and as well as with Kelly Kuri as well. We are like recording material this year. But yeah, there's really I really don't think that I can rush any of these projects. So that's why I hate being like, okay, this is gonna happen and this is gonna come out at this time, because it usually just doesn't work out that way. But yeah.
all right, great. Well, thank you so much, Ranjani, for taking the time out. This has been great.